What is going on, folks? I am Goat. Welcome back to Warframe. So, 6 weeks ago, almost a month, or almost 8 weeks ago, I think it was actually 7 weeks, I shot my 2022 tier list. And I got a few comments that, kind of fit the bill. Okay. Really did. Got a few comments that just kind of fit the bill. Kind of agreeing with me, which honestly, I was not really surprised or not surprised. I would have expected blowback or agreeances either way. Nothing about that tier list would have surprised me because, like I've said, it's subjective as fuck. Now, on that note, I want to show you exactly why I say tier lists are insanely subjective. But I also want to cover something else. So before we get into the tier list thing, I want to talk about something. Because I've been talking to quite a few people. I've been talking to a guy in my Discord, PlayStation player named Hans, and a few other old school players. I mean, players that have been playing this game long before I came along. And the general consensus has been, why do we keep releasing so many frames when we could go back and fix other frames, right? Like, why do we keep making new frames, some of which do very similar things to others? Some are different, we will give them that. But there are some that are very, very similar, you know, armor stripper frames, energy builder frames, so on and so forth. You know, yeah, there's some different ones out there. You know, perfect example, you know, Mesa, Baruch, Zaku, Grendel, you know, I mean, fucking Revenant, you know, I mean, there's plenty of frames out there that are different from others, you know, Wukong, you know, Nezha. I mean, there's plenty of differences here, okay? But with those differences, there's also plenty of similarities. Plenty of similarities. Just putting that out there, okay? Now, with that being said, my previous tier list covered my thoughts on, you know, frames that needed to be reworked. Now, this is my previous tier list right here. So down here at the bottom, you know, we've got Ureli, we've got Oberon, we've got Hydroid, we've got Gyre, okay, and then frames that just need a little bit of assistance. Not that they weren't playable. Now, granted, Grendel has since adjusted quite a bit. I would personally, at this point, especially because of ease of use at this point, I would actually put him up here as an A+ in my list. Now, I do want to cover, like, I probably should have elaborated in the descriptions a little bit better. You know, so powerful, tanky, and or self-sufficient, and truth be told, ease of use, right? I think that's fitting. I did change B tier to better with helmet subsume, so better with helmet sub or mid-level frame. So, like, as far as, like, don't want to put him as an A+ tier, but don't want to drop him down in like a C or a D or even an F tier, that kind of thing. It's a good mid-level frame, and you'll notice I've got Varuna, Miss Varuna, right here, because I think she's a great mid-level frame, and she's really good with a few subsumes. So it's a win-win. But this was my tier list. I honestly assumed that I was going to get a metric fuck ton of backlash out of it, and honestly, I really didn't. I did get some emails asking about, you know, and this is what piqued my curiosity, honestly. Why weren't there more than 8 frames in the range of needing to be reworked? Now, my personal opinion is that frames needing to be reworked have got problems, okay? Like, big fucking problems. Now, barely usable in need of a rework means that they're playable, 100% playable. Okay, so like Sevagoth, 100% playable. Chroma, 100% playable. Caliban, 100% playable with a subsume. You know, and even Limbo, if you put a subsume on Limbo, like Silence to keep the Xmas from attacking you, Limbo is playable. But does he need a rework due to problems from buffs, nerfs, and so on? Yes, he does. Frames that have just got survivability issues that just enjoy dying or are just horribly outdated that just need a huge polish job. Geyer, she just released this fucking year, and because of the nerf that they did to her, she has 0 survivability without subsumes. Okay, now that's not to say that you couldn't change that. You could put Thero Strike on her and just fucking completely keep armor stripping and buffing health, plus doing, you know, electrical damage for staggering and CC effects and everything else. And yes, that would make her better, but I'm going off of basically base kit, except for B tier. I'm trying to stay with base kit. You know, Hydroid, bottleneck farming. That's literally the best thing he does. Oberon, there's just frames that do it better. These days, he's just outdated. They need to buff him away from his normal stats, right? I mean, let's be honest here, okay? Oberon. Everything is a base number, except for, like, armor reduction, right? On renewal, base numbers, right? Bleed out slow. Okay, cool, you got a percentage there. Hollowed ground. You've got a status chance, or you've got a status chance percentage there. Smite, got orb damage percentage, but everything else is base numbers. It's really what kind of hurts the shit out of Oberon. So there needs to be a rework, an overall polishing of Oberon to really make him compete. Okay, but this was how I kind of got to my list, right? This is just how I got to my list. Now, that being said, I've spent the last, we'll call it 6.5 weeks, I've been probing around with my second Reddit account and probing around with my personal Facebook profile in Facebook groups, and then probing around a few Discord servers, asking a lot of questions about frame preferences, what people thought about all the frame releases, you know, what they thought, you know, about the Grendel rework. And I was able to tally up a bunch of information. In a 6.5 week time frame, I was able to tally up a shit ton of information. And what I came up with was a general populace, and this is very loosely based, okay? But I want to show you why I say tier lists are extremely subjective, okay? Because again, like I've got Octavia, Revenant, and Wisp up at the top, and then I've got Korra, Lavos, Mesa, Nezha, Protea, Saren, Grendel, okay? Since his rework, because I honestly didn't think his rework was going to be that good. But then in the A, powerful but personal preference, right? We've got Ashe, Baruch, Ember, Gauss, Haro, Hildren, Avara, Mag, Nyx, Volt, Wukong, and Zephyr. And then better with a Helminth or mid-level, like mid-tier frame. So good, but not amazing, not terrible, okay? Got Banshee, Rhino, Titania. Oh, this is all out of whack. Vauban, Zaku, Stynex, Varuna. Okay. You know, the base star chart, so C tier, base star chart, niche playstyle, or mission specific frames. We have Atlas, Equinox, Excalibur, Frost, Gara, Garuda, Inaros, Loki, Mirage, Necros, Nidus, Nova, Trinity, Valkyr. Okay. And then barely usable, obviously we covered the last 8. Okay. Now this was my tier list. This is the compilation information of base community. Now this is not one singular person. This is actually a lot of people throwing all sorts of nuggets of information at me. And I want to point out how silly this becomes when you bring the community together to try to make one tier list, because this is how insanely non-objective a tier list can look when you just take a bunch of random people independently of each other and you create a tier list from their information. Now, if anybody else thinks that this is highly, highly subjectively fucked up, you would not be wrong. 100%. We've got Baruch, Haro, Nezha, Revenant, Saren, Wukong, Wisp up at the top at an S tier. And you'll notice I've named these differently, okay? Because this was a lot of the information given. Now, there's some frames we're going to go over, because I'm sure everybody's looking at an F tier like, what the fuck? We're going to go over that, okay? We're going to go step by step here. But popular and or extremely powerful. These fucking 7 frames, I swear to God, were some of the most hyped up fucking frames that I've spoken to people about. As far as survivability, map nuking, so on. I was actually amazed Mesa wasn't up there. Truth be told. Now the next one, powerful, self-sufficient, ease of use for most players. Pretty much everybody that I talked to said that they pretty much got a very good grasp at how good these frames were, and that there was a lot of mains that I came across that talked about these frames. And Protea was the surprise for me in this one, because Protea isn't really spoken about that much throughout the community. But we've got Grendel, Korra. I mean, Korra for obvious reasons, even though she is a stat stick frame, and even though she did take a line of sight nerf, she's still exceptionally good. Mesa, exceptionally good frame. Protea's in here. Loki. I shit you not, man. I told y'all there were some Loki mains out there. There's a group of them. Now, powerful, but extremely ability-heavy playstyle. This was spoken of so many times with people that I talked to. Okay, powerful, but extremely ability heavy playstyle. A lot of people like weapon play. Now, there is a group of people, a solid group of people that love ability play, but, you know, considering this is a looter shooter, a lot of people like weapon play. Okay, and some of these frames aren't all about that weapon play life. Ashe, Ember, Gara, Garuda, Ivara, Mag, Necros, Nyx, Nova, Titania, Rhino, Zephyr. Truthfully, the one that confuses me here more than anything, well, okay, I'm gonna go with 3 of these frames, really kind of confused the living bejesus out of me. Powerful, but extremely ability heavy. I don't necessarily agree with Nova, with Titania, or Rhino. Rhino's like a less functional version of Neja. But Neja's way the fuck up here. Granted, you can stack a shit ton of Warding Halo damage absorption to him, but it is what it is. I just shit kind of busted my head, right? Again, this is the people, man. This is not me. You guys saw my tier list, okay? Now, players don't understand the frame well enough to use it properly. Some of these frames I don't, it's no surprise, okay? Like, people were complaining of dying, okay, or not understanding how the abilities really are beneficial to the playstyle, okay, so on and so forth. Or just not understanding how to stack the abilities to make them very, very good. So you got Equinox, Gauss, Hildren, Lavos, Nidus. That one's, I kind of think Nidus is a pretty obvious frame, and I'm not knocking anybody for not understanding how Nidus works, but it is what it is. Octavia, I could see it with the Manticore. I could see it with not understanding how to set up a min-max Manticore setup. I had problems with that for a long time. Vauban, I understand that. Vauban is a very, very underrated Warframe, and he's extremely good, but you've got to understand his playstyle very much. And then Zaku, another one, he's very, very good. It's a very good fucking frame, but you've got to understand what he does. Otherwise, yeah, I could see you dying a bunch. Now, D tier, niche, support frame play, because there's a lot of people that don't like doing support play, or highly mission specific. There's only 5 here, surprisingly, but Atlas, he's very niche. I would agree with that. Mirage, I would say she's probably fits more to the mission specific side of things. Trinity, support frame. Volt, very mission specific. And Valkyr, I would say also very niche. So yeah, I honestly, the D tier, I don't necessarily disagree with. Because I was asking, you know, and it wasn't like posting, I was asking in comments. I would see people, I would wait to see posts that would pop up and say, hey, what do you guys think of this frame? And then I would drop little nugget comments and be like, why? Why do you feel this way about this? And then people would comment below that, oh man, but no, this frame and this frame. Man, it just gives a flowing, social media gives this flowing, wondrous level of information that you can use in this case. And then we get to the F tier. Now the F tier, I swear to God, some of these frames make no goddamn sense to me. Okay, they don't. Some 100% agree. Reworks requested by players due to nerfs, age of the kit. Okay, now I only put age, but age of the kit or issues with the kit. Okay. Banshee. You literally subsume. Now, granted, almost everybody that I talk to, I specifically would bring up more about what do you think of the base kit, not including helmet or Archon shards. And that's when the floodgates would open on answering questions. I do understand Banshee on one premise only. Banshee is extremely powerful. Okay, she is a murdering frame, but her survivability is minimalistic at best. So you need to subsume something over her fourth ability to really give her some survivability. I do understand that. I wouldn't suggest an entire rework, though. That's what Helminth is for. Okay? You can literally take one ability off that's a crowd control ability that's really not going to do you much good and put something of more survivability on her that can fit the build, because she's a range-based frame, so there's a lot of shit in there you could use. Caliban, 100% agree. Caliban's kit as a whole, I've talked about this before. His first ability is a joke. His second ability is, if it wasn't for the enemy, if it wasn't for an enemy cap due to your strength build, due to your ability strength percentage, if there was just no enemy cap on that, I would actually really like Caliban's second ability. But unfortunately, there is a cap there due to the ability strength percentage. So yes, his second ability is kind of crap. Base star chart is great. Steel Path, it sucks. His third ability is 3 random ass AI conculus that don't do their fucking job. So his fourth ability is the only good fucking ability here. So yeah, I agree that a rework of his kit, or at least a polishing of his kit to make it more functional, would probably be a good idea. Chroma has aged so badly. And yes, he is very much playable. Do not get that shit twisted. He is very playable. But there is just so many other frames that do a better job at things with Chroma that I can see why people would want a whole rework to just kind of buff him up, to fix him up, to do things, right? Excalibur. Again, the problem comes back. This was specifically, like I asked specifically, like Banshee was survivability. Excalibur, survivability. That was the only complaint with Excalibur, survivability. Frost. Even with his new augment, Biting Frost, people said that basically his first ability was okay. His second ability was garbage. The snow globes having the problem of not being able to shoot into them is a huge fucking problem. Otherwise, that ability would be fine. And his fourth ability being fine. But the fact that they would just, want a repolish of the second ability to make it more functional and to wipe away the problem of not being able to shoot into the snow globes, it would, polish those two abilities up and they would be a little bit more happy with Frost. But again, Frost has a problem of not having much for survivability. Therein comes Helminth, though. Okay, you have other things, like the snow globes are great for survivability. They really are, but they do have the problem of not being able to shoot into them. But if you're inside of them, it's not a problem. Okay, Geyer, wholeheartedly, like everybody I've talked to about Geyer has same two complaints. She has no survivability in her kit whatsoever, unless you're running augment or auger mods. And the fact that she took a massive fucking nerf on the first day she was released. Everybody. So thank God people at least agree with me on that one, because I didn't really know, because I've seen people running Geyer here and there, and I've also seen people dying with Geyer here and there. So, but I've also seen people running Archon fucking fights with Geyer and doing quite well. So it's like, okay, cool. Hydroid, no surprise. Like, Hydroid needs a up, down, like a top to bottom fucking rework. He is just a fucking mess. He is just trash. Okay, he just is. Sorry. Unless you're bottleneck farming with Hydroid, he's a trash frame. Oberon. Polishing. Fix the statistics of Oberon, of his abilities, and I think he would be a really, really good frame. I really do. I think he would be the frame that people remember from yesteryear as being a really good frame. But right now, there's just better support frames out there. There just are. I'm sorry. Hell, Trinity's better at the job. Fucking Wisp is OP as hell with the job, So, I mean, it is what it is. One surprised me. Inaros. It came down to one simple thing. His kit sucks. Not a complaint about the fact that he's a rolling health bar. The fact that he's very survivable with said health bar. Not a complaint about his augment with his fourth ability. But just in general, his entire kit just kind of sucks. I don't disagree with that sentiment. Although Inaros can be very useful, having that much health, Inaros can die as well. It just takes a lot to get there. Limbo, I was not surprised at all with this one. Not in any fucking way was I surprised with this one. Okay. Limbo, like I said when I did the tier list, took the biggest fucking hit of every fucking frame, of any frame in this game, when the Xmas rework hit. He basically, without a helmet subsume, going over one of his abilities, which you really don't really want to do, but like I think Banish is probably about the only one you want to get rid of. If you don't put silence on Limbo, he's dead. Like, he will just fucking die. That's just how it is. Because the Xmas can cast their abilities into the rift and kill him. So you have to be able to stop that, and silence is the only thing that stops Xmas from casting their abilities. Sevagoth. This is one that surprised the fuck out of me. One complaint. Every single person that gave me this answer of Sevagoth needing a rework had the same goddamn complaint. He has a terrible energy pool. There's ways to build around that. Okay, let's be honest. I think we can all agree that there's ways to build around that. But his energy pool isn't amazing. Okay, I don't think that's highly up for dispute, especially the Shadow. But every single person, like, everybody loved his playstyle, everybody likes his abilities. Said you could subsume, something here and there, but for the most part, everybody likes his kit, so there's no complaints there. Everybody was like, oh, his energy pool sucks. I don't disagree. Styanex. This one surprised the shit out of me. I mean, okay, it did and it didn't. Because basically everybody had the same fucking complaint that I did. Granted, I ranked him way higher because I don't think he needs an entire fucking rework I think they just need to revert a single nerf. That's it. But this complaint was about his fourth ability and the ability casting being taken away from the fourth ability. So basically being able to cast his 1, 2, or 3 while you're in the animation of the 4. That's the only complaint that I've seen about Styanex. But as much as I don't disagree with it, putting it in the category of he's basically unplayable without a rework, that I don't agree with, because that's basically, this bottom list here is people saying that these frames are just not playable without a rework. And that I don't agree with, okay? But this is how subjectively objective this shit is. This is why I say tier lists are silly. Okay, Varuna, the frame just came the fuck out. Okay, there's still people sorting builds out for Varuna. Granted, there's some people that got her sorted out really quick. I was, about, 7 days or so, and I was good to go. I think she's very set in a very niche playstyle, I will say that. But do I think that Varuna needs an entire fucking rework? No. But it was just like Sevagoth. Oh, the energy pool sucks. It needs to be more like Wisp. No, it doesn't. I've run hour-long Steel Path survivals with her and not died, not run out of energy. It's completely doable. You just gotta learn to play the abilities and learn to play the play style of what that frame wants. And the last one, which does not surprise me at all, Ureli. Ureli is just garbage. I mean, I'm sorry for anybody who likes Ureli, and I'm not saying that she can't be played. Okay, she absolutely can be played. But when you focus your entire survivability around a frame being on a K drive, and you limit yourself to only being able to use a secondary while doing it, you better have one hell of a secondary, and you better be very good with agility in tiny little fucking bottleneck small hallway maps, because you're riding a fucking K drive through this shit. Oh, by the way, you can't mod the K drive to be better. That's just goofy. That's very, very goofy. But this is why I say take tier lists with a grain of salt. Some people are salty about when they do tier lists. They'll basically tell you to go fuck yourself if you don't like it, so on and so forth. I don't necessarily agree with that approach. I think that's a bit brash. I really do. But when you take a conglomerate group of people, independent from each other, and this is what happens. Okay, unplayable. Who here wants to raise their hand and legitimately say that all of these frames are unplayable without a rework? Who here wants to say that understanding these frames is so difficult that it's hard to use them? Does it take time to understand them? Sure. Is it to the point that they're just so stuck in this weird level of minutia that you just can't figure it the fuck out? No. I do mostly agree, except for 3 frames in here, about the whole powerful but extremely ability heavy. Okay. I was very surprised with Loki being an A tier frame after talking to the masses, and I was extremely surprised at S tier. Like, there's like 2 of the 3 frames that I had in my S tier are in there, Revenant and Wisp, but it fits under popularity or extremely powerful. Now, Baruch is extremely powerful. Haro can be extremely fucking powerful. Neja, he's a tank frame. Would I call that extremely powerful or just highly survivable? I would still say that Neja is more of an A tier frame. Revenant, I wouldn't really call him extremely powerful, except that he just won't die. Like, unless you do something incredibly stupid, he won't die. So you could even put Revenant in an A tier. I put him in an S tier because I think that he is just the most unkillable frame in the game. Saren, extremely fucking powerful. Okay? And popular, by the way. Revenant, popular. Neja, popular. Wukong, most popular. No surprise there. Wisp, popular and extremely powerful. But that being an S tier from a chunk of the community, it's not like I'm sitting here talking to the whole community. I'm just talking to parts that are on social media that I have access to. This is why I say, please, 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 for the love of God, okay, please take tier lists with a grain of salt. Don't get salty about them, okay? Really, don't get salty about tier lists. Because I think, honestly, getting salty about tier lists is more problematic for you than it is for anybody else. Okay? I wholeheartedly believe that. I think getting upset with tier lists, it doesn't make any sense. Okay? Because as long as you understand it's very personal and to the play style of the person that's giving them. Even somebody trying to go at it objectively and try to look at it from the community stance, there's still going to be personal bias involved because that person understands what the frames do. It doesn't matter how long they've been playing per se. I mean, as long as they've got a good understanding of frames, there's still going to be some personal bias in there. Okay. So it just much like me, like, again, I mean, you know, wow. I mean, like, I would love to say that I'm not personally biased to things, okay, but let's be honest, okay? When you look at my tier list, okay, extremely powerful, right? Extremely powerful, doesn't want to die, extremely powerful, right? How many people are you going to see putting Lavos as an A plus tier frame, right? Not many, if any. There might be 1 or 2 out there that would, but most people look at Lavos like a gimmick, right? You know, but I mean, is it questionable for Korra or Mesa or Neja or Protea? Some people would probably question Protea because they don't understand her. Saren, even Grendel at this point, because that rework that they gave to Grendel, holy Jesus Christ. But then powerful, but, you know, personal preference. And that personal preference comes from the, you know, looter shooter, you know, whole shooter melee side of this game. There's not so much of that going on with some of these frames. Now, there is and there isn't. I do have to say that, okay? Like, Ember loves using weapons and abilities. Ashe is more about abilities. Baruch is more about abilities. Gauss is all about abilities coupled with weapons. So is Haro. So is Hildren. So is Zavara. So is Mag. So is Nyx. Volt is an interesting frame because, again, like I said during the tier list, Volt being personal preference really fits more into mission specific. So, I mean, I just didn't feel it was appropriate to list such a powerful Warframe into something as low as a C tier, honestly, because he is a very powerful frame, but he's very specific, like relic cracking and Eidolon hunting, you know, and just speed, you know, speed and then major critical damage. You know, Wukong is very powerful, but he's also very personal preference. There are people seriously burned out on Wukong just because he's seen so much. And then Zephyr, because you have to stack things a certain fucking way to get absolute maximized function out of her, and some people just don't have that kind of patience. It doesn't take a lot, mind you, okay? But, I mean, this was my tier list, and I think we can all agree that that's very subjective. Very subjective. I'm not speaking for the community on this, I'm speaking from my own experience on this. So, when I say just, you know, take it with a grain of salt and take it for what it is of being somebody's subjective opinion. Hell, come up with your own tier list. Put it in Reddit, put it in Facebook, you know, put it in Discord if they'll let you in whatever server you're in. Don't be afraid, but just understand that tier lists in the grand scheme of things, tier lists are silly. Okay, they're silly and they're very subjective. So, I think we'll just title this, you know, Warframe part, whatever the hell part it is. Let's see how silly tier lists can be. Okay, so folks, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this as comical as I did over brewing up and tallying up all this information, because I'm telling you, that fucking tier list literally broke my damn head when I finally put the tally in, because I was just tallying it up in a word pad, okay? And then, you know, or texting it to my, or sending it to one of my extra profiles on Facebook and Messenger of, okay, well, I've got Loki main here for this reason, so on and so forth. 6.5 weeks of this, okay? Not even joking. Just to see what the community, if you put the community together as a whole and make a tier list from everybody else's subjective opinions, what would that look like? Now, I will say, because of the Grendel rework, okay, the can of worms has officially been opened for DE, because they have now proven that they don't need to release other frames per se. They just need to fix some of the ones they got, because this game's been around for 10 years. Okay? This game's been around for a decade. Anybody else think that 51 fucking Warframes, that is a lot of characters to release in 10 years? Okay? That's 5 characters a year. That's a lot of character releases in a decade. There's no need to have that many characters per se. Just make them more functional as time goes on. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Take it for what it is. So, folks, again, thank you very much for watching. As always, we will catch you in the next video, all right?